Not a bad price. That was in 1865 though. And they come camping here. They called it Camp Hill. Well, later on, it was increased by their son, William. So his mother, his school teacher, she took him to Europe when he was 10 years old. Fell in love with the Mediterranean. And basically built his own Mediterranean village here. Arrangements ahead of time. They can use it. Although the employees do get to swim in it once a year for a couple hours. And at the end of the summer, when the sun has heated it up enough, in Mr. Hearst's time it would have been heated by oil-burning heaters on the north side of the hill. We would get to bring a bottle of water like this. 7 for women and 10 for men. I don't know if he researched the ratio to do that, or women were just getting treated like they usually do. But do you like that ratio? Yeah, that's true. I heard something about Alaska that but it wasn't proper for you to walk back to your guest room in your bathing suit. So otherwise chain-driven mop shuts.
It's higher up now. One less than this.
She actually was the first licensed female architect in California. So there weren't that many jobs out there, probably. Well, actually, for someone of her stature, because she was the first woman to graduate from the college. She did a lot of things for the University of California, Berkeley. And actually, the little man off Hearst's mother, Phoebe Appleton Hearst, she sponsored her college for Berkeley. So she got a degree in engineering because there wasn't much available.
Look at that one rose bush has them all ready to bloom out. Look at this one, it has all of them almost a little bit bud.
Servants, called them staff, and you were respectful of them. And they would take your bags to your room and unpack them for you. Also, to check and see if you were smuggling any alcohol up here. He did serve all types of alcohol. And while he was at Harvard, he managed their Harvard Lampoon paper. And he made it a tremendous success. So later on, he begged his father to give him a newspaper in San Francisco Examiner, which had been losing his father money for years. The agreement was that if he made a success in 2 years, he could have it if he did. And that was the start of a chain of newspapers across the United States and a media empire. So he built his own Mediterranean revival village here. And what do you have in the middle of a Mediterranean village but a church or a cathedral? 30, roughly. Marion Davies might greet you. She was thought of as being like the bubbles in champagne. She would introduce you to each other. Does anybody here buy what they love? Do you listen to an art broker for what you buy? Well, he didn't, and he made a lot of enemies of art brokers. And in fact, when he had to sell off a lot of things, little for them, because he flooded the art market after he was over $122 million in debt. And that was in the 30s. Tremendous sum. Well, he flooded the art market. So, back to coming in. You would have seen this fireplace. Well, it's important to mention this fireplace because Mr. Hearst wrote a letter to his architect, Julia Morgan, saying, I bought the Barney mantle, which is a stone like marble. It's called poor man's marble. It's created when water percolates through underground caverns and such.
Did you take the picture of that dog?
So the table looks a little, you walk in, you find out where you're sitting, look for your name tag. Mr. Hearst would most often sit here with Marion Davies across from him. And if you notice, the table looks very skinny, doesn't it? It's called a refectory table, or there are multiple refectory tables. Probably didn't have one to model after a typical Gothic ceiling, which would be peaked. He probably didn't want to go too high. He wanted, there are other floor booths that just crossed them, sitting on the table. If she was here, it wasn't at the same time as Marion Davies, she'd probably guess. Had a hopper to the left, famous Gothic columnist. That was A.B. Giannini. And she said, that's better. Wanted it a little more authentic. So that was done on all the surfaces in here. And the pool may look like it slopes, but it's actually flat. This major section here is 10 feet deep, side to side and end to end. The alcove.
That she tripped on the stairs right up here. This lady here. I'm the culprit. Yeah. Did you fall all the way to the ground? Sure. I'm willing, by the way. Where did it head on that? Right now we're going to start between floors. 4 floors to the building, 16 different levels, a lot of rooms between floors. And let's have the last person in here just kick the kickstand and let the screen door shut.
A little bit carried away with and simply needed places to house this collection, including the built-in items that he's also collecting. And you're looking at about 10% of what he collected throughout his lifetime. He had about 7 other homes where he had portions of his collection.
Art market, he was actually the second owner to purchase it. It had been put into a building in New York, and when that building was being torn down, he purchased it and was so excited about buying that fireplace that he wrote to Julie Morgan, told her he purchased the fireplace, and he hoped that she would create a hall worthy to receive it. So she created the assembly room downstairs. And that was a starting point for that huge living room that's on the ground floor. And so this is the case on a lot of things. He's going out and buying them and then saying, I want this in a certain room, and I'll, might pick out a few other things, and then she has to go through his collection and find other things that will fit in and create the rooms to match them. And so in fact, got involved in the Comstock strike, bought out a played out gold mine with the gray stuff in it, knew what it was. It was silver. They thought it wasn't worth anything, and so he knew what he knew what doors, you see those fancy concrete pointed doorways. They lived a circular vaults built on top of the first 2 staircases. And so this is where he worked. This is where he liked to spend his time when he was here running his business empire. You saw his newspapers out in the rack. They were flown or driven up daily, put into a rack out there, and eventually he'd go out there and pull them all out, spread them all over the floor, and mark on them a big marker. He'd have the competitions beside him so we could compare and let his editors know when we sit, which they have to do every so often. We duplicate the original, and we get to see the beautiful floors that are underneath, and then we have to cover them up because that's the way he had it. So we keep it the way he had it in his day. And the bathroom, did you notice where the bathroom for this bedroom is? Yeah. Between floors. Where are the closets for this room? Behind the mirrors in the bathroom, between the floors. And Ludwig Bemelmans, who wrote and illustrated Madeline, the children's book, stayed in this suite. He said the previous guests left hangers hanging from the light.
Oh, that shouldn't have gone off either. There's no light for that.
That's okay. So a couple of comments and questions as we came down the stairs. The hole in the wall was probably a window when they did the center, or going to be a window when they did the center section of the house, but then they added on north and south wing, so it got enclosed. So it's just called the hole in the wall now. The
safe at the bottom of the stairs was not for silver. You'll find that the silver set here, which is his mother's, Lauren's silver plate silverware, and her old blue willow. Alcohol. Remember the old stairs during what's happening when it starts in 1920? Female was a wine cellar during Prohibition. The Prohibition only makes it halfway in the middle because he serves wine and beer with your meals. There's beer on tap or in the kitchen. And you get a single well-watered down cocktail served to you in the assembly room before dinner. But the Hollywood crowd tended to open up here. Remember during the San Francisco earthquake, what caused all the fires? The gas lines. Staff up here during the peak periods close to 200 artisan craftsmen, construction workers. House and staff was about 30, 36. Now average now. There were actually a few times when they